Hey, Buzzheads! Welcome to the 70s Buzz Podcast. I'm Curtis Tucker.
And I'm Todd Wheeler, bringing you our memories, or lack thereof, of growing up in the 70s. Listen as we recount growing up in the Midwest and our unique experience, reminding you about vinyl records, metal lunchboxes, wall posters, and all the great music.
We could talk about the 60s. Sometimes we mention the 80s, but we always talk about the 70s. And why is that, Mr. Wheeler?
Because that was the greatest decade known to man!
Yes, it was.
The 70s Buzz, the 70s Buzz, the 70s Buzz.
The 70s Buzz!
The 70s Buzz.
Mr. Wheeler, we're back.
We're back.
Back for another exciting episode of the 70s Buzz Podcast.
You can't keep us away.
I guess we better jump right into the phone calls.
Peter, we're going to talk to Peter.
Talk to Peter. Okay, so tonight we have got a guest from Canada.
Oh, Canada.
And he is going to be talking about his 50th high school reunion coming up. Okay, let's give Peter a call.
One ringy-dingy.
Well, who could be calling me from Oklahoma?
Well,
You just never know.
Curtis and Todd, calling Peter. How are you?
How are you?
We are good. Are you in Canada right now?
I am, yeah.
Awesome.
So, Peter, I was telling some friends of mine at the warehouse that we were going to be talking to a guy from Canada, and Paul goes, well, I hope there's not a language barrier. He was
Well,
kidding.
you know, I worked most of my career all over the United States, and invariably someone would ask where I was from, and I would say Canadian, and most of them would say, oh, you don't have an accent. So, I don't know, it's a kind of a subtle accent in Canada, and it also depends which end of the country you're at.
I say, I don't hear an accent at all.
Yeah, no.
Right,
That's crazy.
yeah.
But Canada is a big place.
All of a sudden, after you emailed, all this reunion stuff is popping up at me. And I just got an email from Enid High, and I guess the Enid High School has just now got a new online database thing, and they're trying to get everybody's information to put in this whole alumni thing now. So
About time.
I wish I had a database to work off of. There was none of that, but what there was for me was I had done our 20th. And I thought I had kept stuff, but computers changed and hard drives, and I started out without that. But a friend actually had kept that list. And the big thing about that list was, because it was 20 years after graduation, a reasonable amount of people had gotten married. And so suddenly I had not only their maiden name, but their married name. And that, of course, when you're searching, makes a huge difference.
big difference. Hey, we're already into the show, but go ahead and introduce yourself and like tell everybody what year you graduated, where you graduated from, and just kind of do a quick intro. We kind of zipped right by that when we jumped right in.
Sure.
That's what we do.
I'm born and raised in Ottawa, Canada, which is the capital, and we're kind of straight up from New York State. I went to St. Pius High School, a Catholic high school here, that had, just before I got there, had been an all-boys school. If you were thinking of going into the priesthood, this is where you went. And there was also an all-girls school called Immaculata in Ottawa. When I got there, they had just switched over. So especially for the teachers, I could see that it was a bit of a shock for them to have to be dealing with girls as opposed to just us guys. But anyway, I graduated high school there, went on to university in Toronto, and had a wonderful career in film and television.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Very cool. So you graduated in 76, is that correct?
I did. We did.
Okay. And so you're coming up to your 50th reunion, and that's kind of what sparked this whole deal, is your journey to find everybody, I guess.
Yeah, there was about 200 people in our class, and I just randomly thought, hey, wouldn't it be great if I could find 100 of them? And I did, with all sorts of means, using AI, using Facebook, all the things that you can imagine, but keeping in mind that our generation, they don't have as big an online footprint. In many cases, that's the way they like it. So it could make it harder to find people. And then the reason I contacted you and others like that was, at one point someone was saying to me, well, have you tried this? Have you tried that? Have you tried that? And I was telling them, look, I have tried everything. I'm down to 75 people and I just can't find them. And so I was saying to myself, okay, so you admit that you cannot find those people. Is that the end of the story? And I said, no, I can also try to get in front of them, even if I don't know where they are.
Yeah.
And I'm the target audience. So I was like, okay, what are people like me? Where would I hear about something like that? And we have CBC Radio here. It's like your NPR. And a lot of people listen to it, but especially seniors. So I got myself onto the afternoon drive show and did a little, I think I sent you a clip.
Yeah, and I listened to
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that helped a lot. And then I've just been trying, you wouldn't believe all the different things. Like I even contacted all the golf courses.
Oh, wow.
Got them to put it out on their newsletters. Retirement homes did the same thing with that. Oh, if I think about it for a while, I have tried all sorts of different things, and slowly, if I don't get anybody else, that's okay. It's just kind of a personal thing where I see those 70, I think there's 74 names still on there.
So that's what you're down to? You're still missing, you haven't even contacted those last 74?
That's right.
Okay.
I've contacted about 125, something like that, and gotten them set up. It's going to be a 3-day event. The first night is going to be a cocktail, oysters, for people to see each other for the first time in 50 years. And then the next afternoon is at an Irish pub. It's just an all-day afternoon thing. We'll start with a bit of lunch, but people can stay there and chat as long as they want. And then the final night, Thursday night, is at a place called The Rainbow, which is a very famous music venue here. And we're going to have a live band. 20th Century Boys are going to play. And they play a lot of rock and roll and especially a lot of 70s stuff. So, yeah, 3 days. 2 of them are evening and 1 in the afternoon. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Cool. And this is September 15, 16, and 17. Is that correct?
Right. That's right.
Okay. And then just throw out how they can contact you so we don't forget.
Oh, sure. So the school is called St. Pius. So the email address is the best way to get there. And that's STPIUSX, because it's Pius X. Let me do that again. STPIUSX76@gmail.com.
Great. Okay. So what made you kind of become the reunion guy? How did you kind of become the reunion guy on the 20-year reunion?
Well, I was kind of one of the party guys. I helped organize a lot of parties in school. I had a DJ business. I organized a bus trip, a couple of buses we took down to Montreal to see an Elton John concert.
Oh, wow.
Had to have, yeah. It was funny because I had heard that Elton John was coming to Montreal, and I said to a buddy of mine, hey, you know, if we got a bus together and charged everybody a little extra, we could go for free.
Oh, nice.
Entrepreneur.
Right. So we started doing that, but word got out in school, and a couple people came up to me and they were like, hey, I'd like to get tickets. And I'm like, well, sorry, it's just me and my friends. And a little bit later, would Peter Beamish please come to the office?
Uh-oh.
And it was, look, if you're doing this on school grounds, it's a school event. You must accept anybody who wants a ticket, and you need chaperones. So that was fine. It became 2 buses, and we picked one of the youngest, hippest teachers as one of the chaperones.
There you go.
And the other was a nun. We had nuns and priests teaching. And it was funny because after the concert on the bus ride back, I went to the back of the bus to see this nun, Sister Noonan. And I said, so how did you enjoy the concert, sister? And she said, well, it wasn't bad. The music was a little loud and the marijuana bothered my eyes. Other than that, it was good. So I did that kind of thing. We have a Ottawa River here and a Rideau River. There's a lot of rivers around here. We organized boat parties on the Paula D, a double-decker boat. A lot of New Year's Eve parties. And as I said, I ended up putting myself through university with a DJ business. So I've always been involved in that kind of stuff. And when the 20-year one came along, which was also a lot of fun, but tone-wise completely different, because 20 years after school, a lot of people are in the middle of their lives.
Yeah.
Girlfriends, wives, kids, career. And so there was the overall attitude was, oh, do I want to go to a 20-year reunion? Yeah, okay. And a reasonable amount of people came. It was a successful event. But now it's a totally different vibe. We're all approaching our 70s. And so most of us are retired or at least have slowed down to a certain extent. So the idea of getting back together is a lot more appealing to people. Also, no need to impress anybody.
Oh, yeah.
There's none of that now, where nobody's comparing careers or any of that. We're just talking about the old times like you guys did.
Yeah, very cool. Take us back to early, mid 70s. What were the big bands for you guys?
Well, it's going to sound very American. Obviously, we did have some Canadian bands like Neil Young and the Guess Who, but my first concerts were, I think my very first concert was Alice Cooper.
Oh, wow.
The Doobie Brothers, the Bee Gees, Earth, Wind and Fire.
Very cool.
You know, we get a lot of listeners up in Canada. So if anybody went to school up there, Pius.
Pius, yeah. Spread the news, St. Pius, spread the news about the reunion.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I was talking to someone else who had done a reunion recently, and I asked her at one point, I said, is there anything, she was the organizer, anything you would have done differently? And one of the things she would have done differently that I have already done, and that is we're holding ours midweek.
I noticed
Yeah.
A weekend.
I wondered about that. So what's the reasoning there? Because we've never even thought about doing that.
Everything opens up to you. If I tell a club that I want to come in there with 100 people on a Friday night, okay, well, I come in on a Tuesday night, they roll out the carpet for you.
Gotcha.
And again, most of us are retired
Yeah.
close to it. And you mentioned doing something every 5 years. This email list that I have gathered after all this time, this is going to be a big thing for our 50th, but I think we'll do something casual at least once a year. As in just, hey guys, if anybody wants to, we're getting together here. So I don't think it'll be the last time, especially what I've noticed, and you probably did too when you would contact people, the connection back to high school is almost instantaneous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to one guy on the phone, and at one point I said, Don, in my mind when I'm talking to you, remember you've got long black shoulder length hair and a goatee. He's like, yeah, not so much.
Yeah.
The hair gods are cruel sometimes.
Yeah. Well, and I've noticed that there were people that I went to high school with and had in several classes that I don't know that I spoke a word to in high school.
Well, we had a big class.
Yeah, but now when you reconnect with them online or even on Facebook, I mean, we'll have week-long messages back and forth like we were best buddies in high school. It's pretty cool.
I agree. This sort of clicks, and I don't mean that in a bad way. You've got the guys who meet at the smoking area. You've got others that meet through sports and all that sort of thing. But they are completely gone. It's funny. I've had some like that as well. Deep conversations with people. Never spoke to them in school, but we share so many memories. Remember when this happened? Remember when we filled that garbage bag full of shaving foam and stuck it under the door and got a big atlas and somebody jumped on it and filled the room full of shaving cream? Yeah, I remember that.
Hey, tell me about that couple. In that clip you sent us, you were talking to somebody on the radio. I can't remember who it was. You were talking about you were looking for a girl that this guy used to date.
Yeah, I had found this guy, so I got a hold of him, and we were back and forth text-wise. And I just thought, well, when he had been in high school, those high school romances, some of them were pretty intense. And, of course, everybody in school would know, hey, did you know so-and-so's dating so-and-so? And they had been together for 2 or 3 years in high school and then had a falling out and a big blow-up and all that. So now it's 50 years later, and I'm talking to this guy, and I just said, hey, totally random thought here, but do you ever know what happened to so-and-so? Do you have any idea where she is? And he said, yeah, I know exactly where she is. She's in my kitchen. We reconnected about 10 years ago and got back together, and
how funny.
We're married now, I think he said, and yeah.
So there's always hope.
Those kind of things can happen.
There's always hope.
There is always hope. In our class, basically being right around 450, people getting divorced and losing spouses. Yeah, there could be some connections at a 50-year reunion. You just never know.
Yeah.
So
I think just getting back together with all these people that you were in the exact same year with, you're already well ahead as far as that goes. All your references are set.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
yeah.
So you guys haven't had a reunion since the 20s? So it's been 30 years?
Yeah, that's right. We haven't.
Oh, wow.
So for most people, it's been 50 years. And it's interesting, too, because I connected with one guy, and he said, hey, we should get together for a beer sometime. And I said, well, what end of town do you live in? Anyway, we chose a place to meet because I'd sometimes walk through town and think, I was born and raised here, even though I have traveled all over, but I'm like, I'm born and raised here. Why don't I ever see any of my old schoolmates?
Oh, that's crazy.
But when I got a hold of this guy and we decided to meet, it turned out we were in the same neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
And when I was approaching the bar from one side, and I see this guy coming from another way, and I'm like, oh, he's about my age. Is that him? And I said, Pierre, is that you? And I realized that he could have walked by me many times on the street, and I wouldn't have recognized him. So maybe there's more around close by than I thought.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think these people, and lots of them, as I say, haven't even talked to someone in high school since 1976. I think they're going to have a really good time, and a lot of people are very excited about it. I'm pleasantly surprised at how keen. Of all the people I contacted, only 2 said flat out they're not going. One guy was living in England, and he was just like, I'm not going to come back to that. But really, that's 2 out of well over 100.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Some of them you don't recognize.
Patterns. Well, like for me, for example, most of my career involved working on weekends. And so any big events that were going on, I was usually in the U.S., actually. So I could have just missed these people for years.
Yeah. What'd you do for a living?
Oh, I was a radio and television. So when I got out of school, I worked at the CBC, which, as I was telling you, is our big broadcaster. Then I did things like Entertainment Tonight. I shot a lot for them whenever they had movie stars that were in Toronto. Did you guys, I think it was shown in America as well, the Super Dave show. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah. He was funny.
I worked on that show. Then I just did lots of videos and TV shows and music videos. And then the last almost 17 years of my career, I worked with a woman who was a New York Times bestseller that put on workshops all over the world. So I just literally got to traipse around the world, having fun and spending a few hours doing some work, if you want to call it that. I've had a career where most of my life in this career, I'd be doing something and I'd be thinking to myself, I can't believe they're paying me to do this.
I love that kind of job. That's what I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's the old classic, find a job that you love and you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
I remember when I have a strong memory of being 10 years old and walking home from school and sort of saying to myself, okay, I was kind of looking at the world saying, okay, I'm a kid right now, and this looks pretty good because my parents handle everything. I get fed and all that. I got homework to do, but it's not a big deal. I'm not really involved with girls yet, and that looks kind of got some pros and cons to it.
It's terrifying.
And,
terrifying.
And I remember thinking, okay, and again, this is just me. I don't put this on anyone else. But for me, I was like, I think I want a job where I don't have to wear a tie because people that are wearing ties, they seem to be very stressed out.
Yeah.
So I kept trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And my older brother had bought a Super 8 film camera years ago, and I had gotten very much into that and into editing. But the guidance system wasn't very good there. I didn't really know what was out there. And my father and my brother were both engineers, and I was pretty good at maths and sciences. So I started off going to Carleton University here in engineering, and I really didn't like it. I came home one day, living at home, and another one of my brothers was sitting with a friend out on a stoop. And, as you walk by someone, you hear snippets of conversation. And I stopped and I turned to this guy and I said, what are you talking about? And he said, oh, I'm talking about a television studio. We're putting productions together. And I knew he went to a place called Algonquin College. And I said, what are you talking about? What is that? He said, oh, I'm in the radio and television arts. I said, there's a degree course called radio and television? When I was trying to get into the school, because it was a fairly prestigious school, he just kept reminding me that I will not make as much money if I don't stick with engineering. And it's like, yeah, I know, but I don't like it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I did. I had a very fun career. I can't complain at all. Met a lot of celebrities. Ronald Reagan, the Pope, Paul McCartney, Bruce Willis. For a couple of years there, it was anybody who was anybody. So if a movie star or someone like that was coming up to Toronto to the Toronto Film Festival, which draws a lot of people, I would get hired to help conduct these interviews, all that sort of thing. So lots of fun.
Wow.
Oh, well, cool. I'm going to go someday.
Come and visit.
Yeah, we need to cruise up there.
We have the world's largest skating rink. We have a canal that goes through our city, and it freezes over in the winter, and it's a lot of fun. We call it Winterlude, and it's a good time. We try to make the winter a little, because it's long. Got to make it fun.
Yeah, up there north.
Yeah.
Very right north.
As far as the reunion, are you doing the whole thing yourself, or do you have like a reunion committee?
I have a small committee. The biggest part of it was finding people. And I knew the complexities of that and following leads and all that. It could get messy if more than one person was doing it. So the search part of it, I've done completely on my own. I've essentially got 3 other people. One who's focused on the last evening that has the live band and all that. And then one she had a career in event planning. And so she's kind of our guidance, if we go to do something, what do you think about this? Or you got a better idea that way? But I'm primarily doing it, and again, with this help. And there'll be people helping on the evenings of.
Yeah. Okay, well, we appreciate you. We don't want to take up too much of your time. Loved talking to you. Anything you want to tell us before you get out of here?
Well, it's a fun project. It really is.
Yeah.
It's like a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah.
Well, hope you have a good class reunion in September.
We appreciate guys like you sharing memories of the 70s and all that good stuff as well. So
Yeah.
appreciate you, Peter.
Thanks, Peter.
And have a great day.
See ya.
Yeah, you too. And again, thanks for the interview.
Okay, appreciate it. Thanks, Peter.
Okay, guys.
Bye.
Good night.
Night.
Well, that was a very nice conversation with Mr. Peter from Ottawa.
Yeah, St. Pius High School, class of 76, 50th reunion, September 15, 16, 17. If you know anybody from that area, let them know.
And we know you guys are listening up there in Canada, so
Exactly.
spread the word.
Okay, we're going to get out of here.
See you later.
See ya.
The 70s buzz.
The 70s buzz.